you have this concept of being a -1, a 0, or a +1.
Yeah.
And you said those numbers actually change on, say, a space shuttle mission as opposed to a space station mission, because it's a longer period of time, a bigger crew, and you were saying sometimes someone with an attitude or an ego can easily turn into a -1, where on the space station you really have to get along with people for long periods of time, and that might fly on a shuttle mission but won't fly elsewhere. Just can you briefly talk about that whole concept of going for 0, shooting for 0?
As a fighter pilot, often you're in a single seat airplane and you have a fully armed airplane and you have some tasks to go do, and there's a huge amount of trust that you're going to do your job properly, and we don't always get it right. I was a Cold War pilot. I would launch in the middle of the night with a fully armed F-18 with radar missiles and heat-seeking missiles and a nose full of bullets, and go out and intercept Soviet bombers that were coming into North American airspace. I had, at the flick of a couple little switches, the capacity to significantly change history, as did the crews on board the Soviet bombers. And you need a certain type of personality to be able to do that job. You have to be pretty confident. You have to be pretty cocksure about what you can do if the chips go down. And that type of personality that is needed to be a fighter pilot doesn't necessarily blend well under all circumstances. But you sort of gain this view of yourself that I've accomplished some pretty hard and rare things, and therefore I'm God's gift to any situation. I can come in, and if someone's doing some plumbing or trying to fix their typewriter or dealing with a squalling child or whatever, that I can handle this. I'm a winner. Let me take over at this. But I learned a little later in life that it's important to have those skills. But when you walk into a nuanced situation, almost never do you get the fine subtleties of it when you first walk into the room. And you come in thinking, I'm this big +1. I am going to be a positive influence in everything that happens, and I'm going to look at this for 10 seconds and go, I got that sorted, bang, 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 change this. And everybody in the room goes, whoa, what a -1. That guy's a big negative. He doesn't understand anything that's going on. He thinks he does, but obviously he's just a bull in a china shop or whatever. And so a little later in life, especially when I got into the complexity of space flight, I recognized that it's a lot more beneficial to everybody, including yourself. Let's aim for 0 at the start. I'm going to try and aim to be a 0 in a new situation, so that I come in and I look around and try and soak up some of the delicate nature of what's happening. Look for the little clues. Look for the variables that I didn't even know were affecting what's happening. Try and become as informed as I can before I start trying to be a +1, and be way more selective in being a +1. And it doesn't work if the building's on fire. If the building's on fire, then you have to start taking action. But so many people treat life as if the building's always on fire, and it hardly ever is. And my experience has been, especially in a complex, multidimensional situation, which is what most of life actually is, you're far better served to target being a 0 initially. It sounds limp, but in truth, I think it's better. And target being a 0, and then selectively be a +1, and to command a spaceship. When I was teaching leadership as part of the Astronaut program, that's one of the things I would mention specifically, is to think about your role, what you're going to do, how you're going to interact, how you're going to soak up a new situation, and when it's time to truly go in an authoritarian role and act. And I think a lot of people would be well served to consider that as an option.
To watch the rest of this fascinating interview, click on the link below and go to londonrealacademy.com. There you can sign in with your social media, log in and watch the rest of the episode for free, along with all of our episodes on London Real, my webinars, and all of our premium content, all located over at londonrealacademy.com. So click on the link below, you'll be directed there, and you can watch the rest of this fascinating interview, and I'll see you there.